Welcome to the Mankind Cave. Welcome to Kayfabe Connection, your home for facts, rumors, knowledge, trivia, and everything you know and hope to know about pro wrestling. Hit the subscribe button. It is right down here. If you want to listen to something different other than generic metal music, welcome to Q1 to 4 dudes talking about wrestling, the same topics, the same companies over and over. If you want to listen to something different, hit the subscribe button.
Hey, this is Adam, a.k.a. Edge, a.k.a. the Rated R Superstar, a.k.a. Dwight from Haven, a.k.a. What was my name in Bending the Rules? I can't remember, but you're listening to the Kayfabe Connection.
This is Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks, and you're listening to the Kayfabe Connection, your home for facts, rumors, knowledge, trivia, and everything you know or hope to know about pro wrestling. It's just too sweet.
Welcome to the Mankind Cave. Welcome to another episode of Kayfabe Connection, your home for facts, rumors, knowledge, trivia, and everything you know and hope to know about pro wrestling. No shiny background in the background, no game console, like none of the arcades are playing. I'm going to see Bill and Ted 3 literally right after recording this week's episode. So without further ado, let's get to the plug so I can go see Bill and Ted at the letter Kfabe Connection on Twitter. Kayfabe Connection, all one word, on Instagram. Kayfabe Connection on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, dude. What are you waiting for? And the bell for notifications. If you want to listen to a podcast, not talk about only one wrestling company ever, that's the only topic, look no further. Kayfabe Connection. Touching base on all companies across the board. New Japan, Impact, Ring of Honor, NWA. If they ever get back into business, I would love to talk NWA. Even indies. OTT, one of my favorite indies. If PWG gets running again, we'll talk PWG. AEW. There's so many wrestling companies going on right now. And so many topics to address other than just spitting out the same. Let's review Payback. Let's preview Payback. Let's talk about Thunderdome. Like, there's way more to wrestling than just one talk show company that kind of has wrestling in between. So if you're sick of hearing all that shit, Kyle's Killer Wrestling Show with metal music in the beginning, the same drawn out bullcrap. Look no further. Kayfabe Connection, you're right here. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Without further ado, though, this is another edition of Thanks for Watching, presented by Kayfabe Connection. Thanks for watching Thursday Night Dynamite. Dynamite was last night. This was a top-to-bottom stellar show. There was one stinker that I'll get to. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everything is great in AEW, guys. This match was awful. It was sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe, as Adam Sandler would say. But other than that, top to bottom, it was a great show. Let's kick it off, though. Tag Team Gauntlet match opens the show. The Tag Team Gauntlet went 30 minutes. It was a 30-minute opener. And, of course, people like to tease, but AEW have a rating system. And so in the tag team division, they have the top 4 teams that were bracketed here. The first match to open the show was the number 3 seeded Young Bucks taking on the number 4 seeded American Nightmares, that is QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. This match was what it was. Like, it's a gauntlet match, so it's not like the Bucks are going to murder themselves in the first match. They got to win 3 matches to successfully win this gauntlet match. And the winner of the series of matches in this gauntlet match will eventually take on the current reigning defending tag team champions, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, at All Out, which takes place next Saturday, September 5th. So, Jericho comes out at the beginning. We get Jericho on commentary. I think Jericho had a little too much of the bubbly last night because he was just all over the place with commentary, but he is always entertaining nonetheless on commentary. So I love Jericho. What can I say? And there were fans there. There's 10% capacity in attendance, so it was cool to hear fans singing Judas again, and just awesome. But the opening match was pretty tame for a Bucks match, as I said. They definitely needed to pace themselves in a gauntlet style match. Dude, Dustin hit the Canadian Destroyer, or as Jericho referred to it, the Texas Destroyer, because you can't get into Canada right now. I thought that was fucking hilarious on Jericho's part. Hilarious commentary. Dude, also QT Marshall, like, maybe I was asleep on QT Marshall. QT Marshall's solid. Like, QT Marshall can go. He's more than just the Apple dude eating the apple and coming in and being a jobber. Like, this dude can go. So it was cool seeing QT Marshall get his stuff in, but eventually we get the BTE trigger on QT for the win. Bucks pick up the win in the opening match of the gauntlet match. So now, number 3 seeded Young Bucks, they now move up. They have to take on the number 2 seeded Best Friends. Best Friends come out. Dude, Nick misses a moonsault on the outside of the ring, and then Trent comes right in and just hits him with a quick spear. Looked great. The sequence was great. I mean, Best Friends are on fire. I mean, they had some great matches, for PWG, and the work that they did for PWG really shined. But man, they're just not. They are on a different level in AEW, and it's so awesome to see. And it's awesome that they're not being typecast into this just goofy guy. They're a goofy team, and they hug and hold hands, and their mom brings them for an entrance. Like, just everything just gels with them right now. Their gimmick, just, it all makes sense, and it works. So I love what Best Friends are doing right now in AEW. But yeah, Trent killed it. Dude, the DDT counter off of Matt's locomotion sequence was just phenomenal. I loved it. It was great. We get some tandem moves followed by the signature hug, where they hug and the camera comes, sort of like the pull away for the Rainmaker in New Japan. I always love that spot. Bucks go for the Meltzer driver, but Hangman, of all people, Hangman Page comes down and holds Nick's leg. Matt gets rolled up for the win. Best Friends shockingly upset the number 3 seeded Young Bucks. That turn was a long time coming, from several episodes ago, and I've been harking on this. Like, I've been at that point. They've been alluding to it on Being the Elite on YouTube, the YouTube show that they put out every Monday, and it's just been this ongoing slow burn sort of a thing. So I'm so glad we're finally seeing the culmination of this turn happen, and not so fast, because I mean, we could be jumping the gun. For all we know, Omega could possibly turn heel at All Out. Who knows? But it's nice to see the storyline coming together as it has. So, Best Friends win. So now it's the number 2 seeded Best Friends taking on FTR, the current number 1 ranked team in all of AEW. And the winner of Best Friends and FTR will then go on to All Out to face Hangman and Omega. So Hangman walks out, the big spotlight's on him. He's walking by the Daily Place, logo up the stairs, and exits stage left. So we got FTR with Tully, and they got the swaggy jackets going. So they're all together now. And as predicted ad nauseum, that this 4 horsemen resurgence that we've all been waiting for, and it's been teased, I think we're going to see more of that unfold at All Out. Now, will we get all 4 of the, horsemen, we'll say for now, because we don't know what their group's going to be called. They've alluded to it. Cody alluded, Tony Khan called 4 people before him. They've really been teasing it. That remains to be seen, but I had brought this idea up to fellow occasional co-hosts, Larry and Logan, when we were watching last night. I was like, dude, after this, the writing seems to be on the wall. I can easily see, let's get to the match. I don't want to say that before I spoil the match, but the whole match really focused on Chuck selling his knee and FTR being real meticulous on working on the knee, which eventually saw them working on the knee to a tap out. So they submit Chucky T. great storytelling and psychology that you'd like to see in a match where it's just not some random win picked up for no reason. So I got to charge my phone, but I will still continue commentary on my podcast. So FTR get the win. It's going to be FTR taking on Hangman and Omega for the AEW Tag Team titles at All Out. So getting back to my prediction, I could definitely see one of two things happening. Omega screwing Hangman or Hangman screwing Omega to help FTR win, and that will thus put that person in with that stable. I think Omega is kind of a long shot, but it does seem that this tease is it's been so obvious that it's going to be Hangman that maybe they'll swerve us, but I mean, odds are it's probably going to be Hangman who's going to screw Omega and maybe even potentially do the same thing where he holds the leg, like that's his gimmick now, and holds Omega's leg and helps FTR win, and then post-match beatdown of FTR and Hangman on Omega to really solidify that Hangman's out of the Elite. So it makes sense. They'll probably go in that direction, but I mean, that's the problem also with being an armchair booker is that you get disappointed when it actually doesn't work out the way you plan it. So maybe I can just be a fan and just watch it all unfold. So the tag team gauntlet, as I said, that was 30 minutes of the show, and it was great. And I put my notes here. This company gets it. I'm a big tag team guy. And something that as a kid, when you grow up and it's Heart Foundation, LOD, and, you got all these tag teams that you grew up on, British Bulldogs. I could go on and on, the Steiner Brothers. Those are just my childhood favorites that came to mind. And then, as a team, the Outsiders were fun, seeing outsider tag matches. It's such a missing part of wrestling right now, and especially when you look no further than the biggest company ever. Dude, tag team company is so fucking swept under the rug now. It's like who do the Street Profits have as a team that's gonna go against them for the tag titles? Right? I'll wait. You got Breezango and NXT as the NXT tag team champions, and no discredit to them. They busted their ass to get titles and to get their name in the limelight of WWE, but WWE does not have a plan for the tag team division at all, nor is their focus on tag team wrestling. It's, let's throw these people together. Let's just, it's the hot potato title. There's no reigns that mean shit for the tag teams since New Day. And before that was Demolition. So outside of that, what tag team has meant anything beyond that in WWE? Comment in the video here. Comment at the letter Kayfabe Connection. I'm throwing it out there. What tag teams have been worth a piss that have had a lengthy reign where something really major happened with the tag team or the tag team division? So I digress. Shout out to Chris Jericho, though. He was talking about Tully Blanchard's influence with FTR and their new group, and how Tully Blanchard reminds him of Scotty Bowman. Shout out to the Red Wings. I'm not going to twist my MacBook over here, but I got the whole, if you've never seen it before, I got the whole Red Wing wall over here. I got seats from Joe Louis Arena. So your boy's a Detroiter. It was nice to get a Scotty Bowman shout out, former legendary coach of the Detroit Red Wings. Next, we see this little vignette. It's Darby Allin. He's wearing like a mask of Ricky Page's face, which was hilarious. He climbs up this bridge and he's like, you think I'm scared of you? I'll show you, what I'm scared of. And he just jumps off this platform, off this bridge. And they cut right before he hits the water. So dude is just a total daredevil risk taker. I love his gimmick, and I love that dude literally is living that like skateboarder dream where like you're filming tricks or like you're filming stunts that you do that you would normally do anyway, jumping out of a hotel window into a pool, all this crazy shit that he's already going to do it if he wasn't a wrestler. And you record that and you build him up as that star based on this, level of thrill seeking. And I mean, they've had Tony Hawk, they've had Travis Pastrana, they've had all kinds of people that are in that community that have co-signed him. So it's been cool to see Darby's sort of ascension to this next level of superstar here. I mean, this was the dude with the body bag and the coffin drop gimmick from Evolve, and pun intended, he's evolved immensely, being on AEW. So bad pun, but pun nonetheless. So Lance Archer squashed Sean Maluta. Shout out to my boy Sean Maluta, former CWC competitor. Dude has a lot of talent. I hope he gets more than just a squash like he did in this match. He got squashed by Lance Archer. I hope they actually sign Sean Maluta and actually do something with him. But yeah, Taz interrupts Jake and Lance Archer. They're cutting this promo. We're going to be in the Casino Royale. Yes, they're having a buy-in Casino Royale match, or maybe it's on the main show. Who knows? But Taz interrupts and comes out with Brian Cage and Ricky Page. Right? Ricky Starks. Why am I saying Ricky Page? Dude, it's been a long work week. Anyway, so yeah, this brings out Darby, who skateboards into the ring. Dude, Ricky looked like a mock-up version of the Rock meme where he has the he has like the fanny pack and like the chain, and he's got the loop earring. Like Ricky Starks was totally looked like the Rock from that meme. It cracked me up. But anyways, Darby Allin jumps up from the skateboard into the ring, fucking just a double drop kick, and literally knocks Ricky Starks out of his shoes. So that was hilarious to see. And so we get a Cage and Archer standoff, which the crowd was really vocal about this. The crowd seemed to be eating it up, and I think that's definitely going to be a big spot in that Casino Royale match, which the winner gets an AEW title match. Next, we got MJF doing his thing with his team, criticizing one of them, whatnot. And they mentioned that there's going to be a contract signing with Moxley. Next, this got me super hyped. We get a vignette for Shida and Thunder Rosa. Yes, this match is taking place at All Out next Saturday. The current AEW Women's Champion, Shida Hikaru, taking on the current NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. This is a cross-promotional match, it seems. They let Billy Corgan narrate the vignette. We've seen Ricky Starks. He's signed AEW now. We've seen Eddie Kingston, former NWA talent, now signed with AEW. It seems that due to the unfortunate issues that came from Dave Lagana's departure from NWA, NWA is still in business to let their talent go elsewhere, sign contracts with other companies, and not to mention that current signed talent, championship talent, get to work in AEW. I'm wondering what this means for Nick Aldis. I know they're doing that sort of weekly pay-per-view stuff, which I can cover that. I can cover that next month in September when they actually air one of those, and we can give like a whole episode to it. But yeah, starting in September, there's supposed to be these weekly pay-per-views involving NWA talent. It's not NWA, like you're not going to see like power episodes or anything, but it's going to be a pay-per-view. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, cross-promotional women's championship match is going to be a banger. Now, maybe, and what I think here too is, I think Tony Khan realizes that, and remember I said there was a stinker match, we'll get to that in a moment. I think Tony Khan realizes that the women's division is lacking in the company. So he has to mix things up while the women are developing, and he can build new stars. But I mean, with Britt Baker injured, Chris Statlander's injured, they've suffered some major blows to the women's division. And that has seemed to always be the criticism of AEW compared to, say, like an NXT, is women's division is great in one company, not so great in the other. But to their discredit, it's been because of the injuries. So I'm just throwing that out there. So next we have the contract signing between MJF and Moxley. This was hilarious. The Mox entrance with the crowd was great. I mean, even Jericho was hyping Moxley up. He's like, "I've missed this. Oh man, I've missed this so much. I hate him still, but I've missed this." So it was cool to even have Jericho hyping up Mox, but it was awesome seeing him come out with fans. He is a people's champion. Like, he is a champion that feeds off the fans. Similar to a guy like Orange Cassidy, I think he's just one of those characters that's going to do way better, make more of an impact, and seem like a bigger star with a crowd there. So that was cool to see. Nothing was damaged at all, and they even joked about it. Oh, I know, every time there was a contract signing, there's damage. Nothing got damaged. Like, nothing happened. Like, nothing. There was no physical altercation. But the back and forth verbally, like, both dudes on the mic were on fire. I love MJF's Weasley lawyer. He's so funny. But he plays the character so well. But yeah, MJF was talking shit to Mox about his hairline, and Moxley was like, "Oh, it'll happen to you one day too, kid. You just got to get through puberty first." That was funny. And then MJF clowns Moxley for growing up and idolizing dudes like Sandman and just all these deathmatch guys, New Jack, so on and so forth. And he grew up watching Ernie Ladd and Buddy Rogers and Tully Blanchard. I love that he didn't mention WWE names like at all. I thought that was a nice touch. They go back and forth. MJF throws out the line about, if your wife wants to come over here, let her know I'm single. And then, of course, Moxley comes unglued. I like how they teased a Renee Young sort of appearance on AEW. And then, MJF's lawyer is like, "I'll sue. You touch one, hair on his head and I'll sue." And Moxley gets the mic. He's like, "Chill out, okay, dickwad, sit down." I love that they let a dickwad fly on TNT. I haven't heard a good dickwad in a long time. Most notably used in T2, right? "Chill out, dickwad." So yeah, that was hilarious. They sign it. Moxley, MJF's gloating, "Oh, you idiot." And Mox is like, "Oh, you should have realized I added a 17th page." And they're like, "Oh, there was only 16 pages. And so now he gets to wrestle MJF's lawyer next week, the week before All Out. And he gets to use his finisher, the Paradigm Shift, in that match. And so, yeah, that was it. Nothing really to it, but I thought it was so well done. Next, we got an 8-man tag. It was the new Eddie Kingston stable with the Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade. They took on Brian Pillman Jr., which was great to see. That kid, just like his dad, looks like him, moves like him. Griff Garrison, Sonny Kiss, and Janela. This was a match to let everybody get their shit in. I mean, it was a solid match. It wasn't sloppy or boring. It was super entertaining. Everybody was able to highlight what they do best. I thought it went over well. Nothing really much else to say, We got a Dark Order promo. Evil Uno came out. All the rest of the Dark Order guys brought out a casket. They open up the casket. It's 10 laying in there, and he's got the Cody Rhodes jacket. He's got the fake neck tattoo. He laughs. They get, he gets out. They drape the American Nightmares banner over the coffin. Out comes Brody Lee. Brody Lee's introduced as the TNT champion. Nothing really much to see here. I mean, there was a scrap with American Nightmares coming out and Scorpio Sky coming out. So maybe this is a match that they're going to set up for All Out, like a 6-man maybe, with Brody Lee and a couple of the Dark Order guys taking on, who was it? Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky and Dustin Rhodes. We might see like a 6-man, match at All Out. I could very possibly see this happening. Matt Cardona, of course, getting revenge for his friend Cody. So, I mean, it's something to do with Dark Order. And, I mean, all of those talent mentioned, like, all those guys are great. So, I think it's too early to just have Brody Lee take somebody on one-on-one as the TNT champion. I think they're just going to go with that 6-man at all. That's just me. Next, we got Hangman. He was confronted at a bar back in Daly's place. There's that little section with the bars. They've used it before, but he's confronted by the Bucks. The Bucks jokingly said, we've only called you a jobber once, but now you're acting like a jobber. Matt takes his shot of whiskey out of his hand, throws it in his face, calls him a drunk. They pretty much excommunicate him out of the Elite. They say, you're out, you're done, you're kicked out of the Elite. They slam the door. It's like a mirror that's broken. Hangman's looking at it. Foreshadowing, right? Big Swole versus Rebel and Penelope Ford. This was the next, everything was just cringe. Like even Britt, let's go, girls. Britt Baker does the bang, bang, and she does the Shania Twain thing. And I'm like, ugh. It was just cringe, and it just wasn't good. It was just sloppy. There were some really bad spots that just didn't go over well. But Big Swole. Big Swole won the handicap match, and now, based on that win, gets to dictate any type of match at any moment, anytime with Dr. Britt Baker. After this, we saw a quick little spot where Evil Uno is with Anna Jay, and I think it was Stu Grayson, another member of the Dark Order, and the ringside, and Taya Conte's there, the Brazilian tag team partner of Anna Jay, and they basically offer her a contract to join Dark Order. Seemingly she does. She hugs Anna Jay. They're excited, and she's kind of looking reluctantly at the contract, so they're teasing more members in Dark Order. So it looks like Dark Order is going to be a massive stable in this company, and a big deal. Lastly, the main event of Dynamite was Matt Hardy taking on Sammy Guevara in a tables match. This was a fun match, don't get me wrong. The thing that pissed me off, though, is the picture-in-picture shit. Totally just, that's where all the violent shit in the match took place. So how are you going to have this tables match with all this violence, but it all took place, so you're like, during the commercial, I didn't see any of that happen. Like, when they went to commercial, how I do on Dynamite days. I got wings out of the air fryer. I got pizza. Wifey made cookies. I'm trying to get a couple more cookies out of the kitchen. I'm not watching the picture-in-picture. So I come back, and Sammy Guevara has this big-ass gash on the side of his head, just gushing, and he's all bloodied and beaten up. I'm like, what the hell happened? I missed everything. So that was a bummer. I did manage to watch the picture-in-picture on the second go. Anytime I do these things for watchings, if it's not a pay-per-view, I do those live, right after the show ends. But a Dynamite or a show that airs, I'll usually watch it twice just so I can pick up on everything. But that's the thing that really just it didn't sit well with me. I'm like, come on, man. But yeah, we got Matt Hardy whipping chairs at Sammy. I thought that was hilarious. That was right before the picture-in-picture. We got a twist of fate on Sammy. Put the chair, put his head through the chair, and then gave him the twist of fate with the chair. I thought that was a great spot. Hardy pulls out a table that says deleted on it. So he's jumping through the Hardy multiverse, which I think is cool that they use that gimmick with him. He just bounces around. I think it's way more entertaining than just being Broken Matt. But we see here, Matt Hardy goes to throw him through the table. Sammy jumps up on the middle rope, gives Hardy a suplex through the table, thus winning the match. And so Sammy's just all beaten up and leaning up against the turnbuckle, all bloody, big, huge gash. And then out of nowhere, out comes Orange Cassidy. He just jumps on, pounces on Jericho. The cameraman didn't catch it. You kind of see Sammy hey, what the hell? And so the cameraman, you fucked up. He totally botched getting any of this filmed. You just see Sammy looking hey, who's that? And then on the tail end, you see Orange Cassidy jump. Dude, JR seemed legitimately pissed because Rick Knox and all the referees in AEW were crowding around, trying to stop the melee, and JR's yelling at him what are you crowding me for? Bitching at him. So it seemed like he for real was pissed off that these refs were all bunching into him and hitting him and shit. He's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? But that was the end of Dynamite. Jericho and Orange Cassidy going at each other. I thought, again, outside of the women's handicap match, I thought that was horrible. It was sloppy. And those workers are great. Rebel's great. Big Swole's awesome. Penelope Ford has been the most improved women's wrestler on their roster this year. maybe a wrestler altogether, not even basing it off of gender. So no jab to them or insult. It was a rough night at the office. That's what happens in wrestling sometimes. And so all is forgiven. It is okay. So, but yeah, I thought top to bottom, it was a great show and high energy, fun, entertaining product all around. And before All Out is their major pay-per-view. It is their big kahuna. And it pains me because I was at All In, I was at All Out last year. It pains me I will not be at Daly's Place for All Out this year, but I will be watching live on pay-per-view at 8 p.m. On Bleacher Report Live on my beautiful curved television here in the Mankind Cave next Saturday, and it will be September 5th, 8 p.m. Order on Bleacher Report Live or order on pay-per-view, whatever carrier you have. It's going to be a barn burner. I can't wait for All Out. So, as I mentioned, I got to go watch Bill and Ted 3. Got to get into the phone booth, but that's it for another episode of Kayfabe Connection. Next time someone tells you wrestling's fake, you know what you tell them. So are movies and TV.